Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Rebel Rewind. My name's Christopher. That's Eric over there with me. How are you doing, Eric?
Doing super, man. Getting more and more excited every passing day. How you doing, Chris?
I know, right? We're
Yeah,
we're now less than a week now with
yeah,
the new update, right? We got the new
yeah.
update of the release date for the first two
Yes.
episodes, which we'll jump into in a moment.
Yep.
So yeah, exciting.
Super excited.
They've been dropping clips and little snippets and trailers and all sorts of promo stuff for like I don't know the last couple weeks here, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. So very cool stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm
So
excited. I think it's gonna
if
be
you
good,
if you're not psyched, man, I don't know what's gonna get you
right?
psyched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's new,
should
Chris?
be a fun ride.
What you been working on?
Not much. Just rearranging the this collection room here. So
I
moving
see.
some stuff around, trying to fit another cabinet in here. So
Yeah, like let's see, it was a detox back there. Did you move two in or something like that? I see there's two at the end over there. Something
yeah.
different.
So the Billies behind me used to be on this wall here,
Okay.
and then the the Detolfs used to be on this wall behind me. So stuff's changing. Well, maybe I'll get time. If I get time, I'll pump out a room tour before the end of the year. We'll see.
Yes. Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, but I've got like a big display case, like glass display case to put in here. It's sitting in the hallway
Sweet.
right now. So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, let's jump
Let's
into
go.
some news, eh? Yeah, let's go.
Yes.
So yeah, like we mentioned, the we got an update for the release date for the first two episodes. So they bumped the first two episodes up to well, we got this on social media. This was posted on
Mhm.
all of the Star Wars and Disney Plus social media accounts. So the first two episodes are coming out less than a week. So next Monday, December 2nd, episode
Mhm.
1 and episode 2 are coming out, and then following that, they're going to go back to the Tuesdays, but it's going to be released at 6 p.m. Pacific, so that's 7 p.m. my time. I think 8 p.m. your time, yeah, because
Central.
you're what? Your Central time, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Mountain time, so yeah, so nice and early. We'll be able to watch these episodes in the evening after we're
Yes.
off work, right? So,
Yep.
and it should be fun because you and I we're going to be doing a little bit of a watch party, not for
Yes.
next week, just because you're going to be out of town because you guys got Thanksgiving and doing your guys' vacation or your little trip, right? That you were mentioning
Mhm.
before we
Yes.
went live here. So,
Yes, sir.
and a bunch of other people are probably going to be away over the weekend and coming back on the Monday. So we're not going to do a watch party next Monday. We'll start our watch parties on the following Tuesday, which would be the December 10th there with
Yep.
episode 3, and we'll do watch parties going forward. So we'll still do a little bit of news. I think is what our plan is, right, Eric? We're gonna do
Like
like
30
a
minutes before.
little, yeah, do talk about some recent news and rumors and cover a couple stories, and then we'll watch the episode. So
That's the
looking
plan.
forward to that. That'll be fun. That'll be
Yep.
fun.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Never thought
So
about doing that watch party, but I think that sounds like it's gonna be awesome.
yeah, it'll be fun. So if you guys want to
Hit that
join us while we watch
notification.
it and
Yeah.
watch it with us, yeah.
Hit a
So, but that's
notification,
cool.
set a reminder for
Yeah.
2 weeks from now. So
So eight episodes. So it's two episodes next Monday. So less than a week now. So that's exciting. And it's going right into January. So awesome.
January 14th. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to the Bryce Dallas Howard
Yes.
episode just because like she's directed a few episodes of The Mandalorian now.
Mhm.
She directed what did she do? Did she do a Kenobi? Oh no, an Ahsoka episode, wasn't it? I
I think it
believe.
was. Yeah, I think she did a Ahsoka series. I mean,
I
Ahsoka
think
episode.
so. I think so. She
I don't
did.
know nothing about
She's done
Jake
her
Schreier. But
yeah, but she's done her fair due of Star Wars episodes. So I think it's time she gets
mhm.
her own series or her own movie. Give her the chance to do that because
Yes,
like she's done
yes,
good
please.
stuff, right?
She's
Right?
yeah, she's done some really good stuff, man. And I think
Like
she deserves.
maybe bring her in to do one of the movies in the upcoming Ray trilogy that they're talking about doing, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that'd be cool. I'm sure
yeah.
people
She
can get
deserves
behind
it.
that.
She's super talented.
Yeah, I'm just looking her up because I can't remember which series she did. Yeah, Mandalorian.
She did a Mandalorian, and
Yeah,
she
she
did
did the
a Ahsoka.
Mandalorian. Yeah, was it Ahsoka?
I think it
I'm
was an
just looking.
Ahsoka. I don't think it was a Book of
Uh,
Boba Fett episode.
yeah, I'm just looking. I don't want director. Go to director credits. Mm, yeah, scrolling through. Yeah, so she did the Mandalorian. Where is it? It's not showing. Hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did something else. I think it was the Ahsoka series or Kenobi series, one of the two. Oh,
Mhm.
Boba Fett. Yeah, she did do a Book of
She did
Boba.
Boba Fett. Okay.
Yeah, she directed a Book of Boba, a few episodes of The Mandalorian. Yeah. So like I think yeah, give her a chance to do her own series, whatever
Mhm.
you want it to be, or a
Or movie.
movie.
Yep.
I think she deserves it now. She's proven herself. So, but
Yep.
like I said, the Ray trilogy would be a good spot to give her a movie. Like it's being written by Simon Kinberg, the entire trilogy. So bringing a director that knows how to direct Star Wars content, right? And that'd be perfect. I think people will get
So
behind that.
Bryce Dallas Howard hasn't done a movie, or isn't in the talks as of
No,
yet. Charmaine Obaid Chinoy does. She has
yeah,
one. She hasn't
and
done any Star
she
Wars
has
before.
hasn't done any Star Wars
Go
exactly, right?
figure. Go figure.
So, but no, I'm looking forward to these episodes because there's
Yeah.
also like aside from Bryce Dallas Howard, there's also some great directors here too, right? Like John Watts, obviously,
Mhm.
did the Spider-Man Homecoming and stuff like that, right?
David
David
Lowery.
Lowery,
I don't
yeah,
know anything about Jake Schreier.
yeah. The Daniels, the I can't remember their individual name, but they directed they did that Everything All at Once or whatever,
Okay.
Everything Everywhere All at Once, yeah, and that was a really good one. So should be interesting to see these episodes. I'm really excited about it, and less than a week now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Bring it. I'm ready.
yeah. But let's jump into the next story because we got some
Mhm.
other news here. So first, next story here is some news on. I think I think it's pretty popular series. So Lucasfilm confirms Star Wars Vision Season 3 will release in 2025. Announces 9 Japanese anime studios working on the season. So yeah, I think Star Wars Visions is pretty well liked across the
Yeah.
Star Wars fandom, in my opinion. Like I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy them?
I enjoyed the first season one. There was some episodes in season two that I kind of enjoyed, but I preferred definitely season
Yeah,
one. Was
I
much.
definitely enjoyed season 1 better, but
Mhm.
season 2 is good too. Like it's nice to
Yeah.
see different people's takes on Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
I
during
lean more.
Disney's,
I lean more
sorry,
towards anime. I lean towards more anime, and that's why it kind of
yeah,
attracted me a little bit more than the within the claymation form.
hmm
But they were
yeah,
still pretty decent, also though.
yeah, they're pretty cool. Still,
Yeah.
it's cool to see these different animation studios do their take on Star Wars, right? So,
Mhm.
yeah, but yeah, the article reads during Disney's APAC content showcase, Lucasfilm announced the third season of Star Wars Visions, setting a broad 2025 release window and announcing the 9 anime studios that are working on the episodes for the season. Um, so the first season of Visions featured only Japanese anime studios, whereas the second season had studios from across the globe, including United
Mhm.
States, United Kingdom, Ireland, India, France. So that was kind of cool to include other countries
Mhm.
and stuff like that, right? So the 4 returning studios are Kim Milk's Duga. The studio previously produced the Vision episode The Duel, which I think is that the old man one
The
from the first
duel.
season? Yeah, the duel.
I think it is. I think it was
Yeah,
the duel. Okay, let me pull that up real quick.
yeah. And then the other studio is Kinema Citrus Co., who produced the episode The Village Bride, which was a good one as well. And then Production IG produced the Ninth Jedi, which that one was a good one as well.
The duel. Oh, that's the Ronin.
Is that the Ronin one? Okay, so
Yes,
that
I
one's
was
a really
hoping
okay.
that that
That's
was the
cool.
case.
That's cool. Okay,
Oh man, I hope it's a part 2 to the
yeah.
Ronin. Oh my goodness.
And then Trigger, who produced episodes for the first season of Visions, the twins and the Elder. The Elder was another good one. I really
Yeah, the
enjoyed the
Elder.
Elder as well.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
Yeah.
Visions
So
had that.
that's
I like the Vision style.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
yeah. I like the style of it. It's just that the storyline I didn't care too much for, but I did like the style of the anime. So it was. I can't wait to see what else they bring forth.
Yeah. So then the new the 5 new studios that are coming are Anima, who has produced other shows such as Sandland, yeah, some other stuff. There's David Production, Polygon Pictures, Project Studio Q, and then Wit Studio. So yeah, it should be interesting to see what these studios do. Wit Studio, it says previous works include Attack on Titan, Vinland or Vineland, I guess, Saga, Spy X Family, Ranking of Kings, and are currently working on the One Piece remake. So if you're a One Piece fan, could be cool to watch Star Wars Visions this season too. So that's cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure they're going to announce something at Celebration Japan too. It'd be the perfect time to make a big announcement and maybe show a trailer or something like that at Celebration Japan, considering it's in Japan and you're talking about anime. So yeah,
I wonder if they're going to do like one canon story, like on the season 1.
I mean that's a thing. So like these stories aren't considered canon, but I mean they could, like, they make sense, and like they could make sense if they were part of canon.
Well, the
right?
one with Boba Fett on it, that weird one with the music, that was supposedly canon. So
yeah, but like even these other little stories, they could be
Yeah.
like little side stories that are taking place during different times. Like, yeah. So I'm excited for it.
yeah,
I enjoyed the first 2 seasons. Like I said, the first season was the best for me, but yeah, this should be exciting to see.
Oh yeah, they know their anime style. I mean that style. I mean that of course derived from Japan, and I love that's my favorite style of art. I mean, like for animation form. So
yeah. Who else is hyped for Skeleton Crew?
This guy,
yeah,
and that guy.
Sci-Fi in the host said,
"What's up,
yeah,
Sci-Fi?
looking forward to Star Wars or Skeleton Crew." Yeah, doesn't have that strange, questionable hype that the Acolyte had.
Yeah,
true.
I think it's gonna be one of those like a sleeper kind of like people start tuning in. I think they're gonna have some awesome feedback.
I think it's gonna be like Andor, like because Andor
sleeper
people slept on that, right? And yeah, and it's one of the best Star Wars series.
It's
some of the best Star Wars content, really. Yeah. So very cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. So let's go ahead into my first story for this evening. So Star Wars Skeleton Crew actor Jude Law describes unconventional Jedi protagonist. So Law go into detail what makes his supposed Jedi character differ from the ones we've seen on screen before. Talking with comicbook.com, a representative that just saw the first 3 episodes of the series, Jude Law indicates that his character Jadna Nawood, aka Crimson Jack, that's another name that was tagged to him also, isn't someone who isn't quite who he appears to be. I know we've talked about this before, or at least is a good representing different aspects to the world at large. So he's talking about wanting to get some influence from Han Solo and Lando also. But so he wanted to be able to show off different sides, different moods. And I thought this was kind of interesting. He's a coward at times. So I wonder how that's going to take an effect with the kids, because cowardice is something that kids don't, you don't look up to someone who's a coward. So maybe that's going to
Yeah.
play into something. Um, a coward at times, sometimes a scoundrel, sometimes a hero, funny, serious, scary. And I'm looking out for myself. Oh, someone who's looking out for himself. A little cynical, and I hope to bring that to Jod. One element of the series is that the kid's protagonist in the story believes that he is a Jedi Knight. So that's another little interesting take on it. So they believe that he's a Jedi Knight. So while Law
Yeah.
would not confirm or deny whether this was true or not, he said that the audience will get an answer later in the series as his character's past is revealed. What is eventually revealed um, in his childhood, and how he might be force sensitive, might or might not be force sensitive, and then of course he says, "This is all I got to say about it," because he doesn't want to get into
Yeah.
detail. He's kind of,
Yeah.
he knows when to clam up when he's giving too much information. But I think that's pretty telling also when he says his character is a coward. He's angry at times, and not to say that
Scoundrel.
negative, but
Yeah.
scoundrel. How he kind of takes
Yeah.
from Han Solo, which I mean that entails a lot right there. He came back, of course. Han Solo came back to help the crew, but is he going to leave the kids at a certain point where they're going to feel hopeless and defenseless?
Yeah.
Just kind of like,
Maybe he'll come back
yeah,
and help them
maybe,
later on. Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it
yeah,
kind of makes sense for his character because his kid, he like in all the trailers and stuff, like he seems like he's kind of like a scoundrel, maybe even like a pirate at the time, right? Like he could be a
hmm
pirate. He
yeah,
seems like somebody who's conned a few people out of some money
yeah,
and stuff like that. So
in it
yeah, it
for
should be
himself.
interesting to see in it for himself.
I
Yeah.
like to see how he's going to play all these kind of characters kind of all into one
Yeah.
as the story progresses. I think that is going to be really good storytelling.
Yeah. Yeah. It should be interesting to see
Yeah.
when that comes out next Monday. So
Yes.
very excited for that.
Yep.
So next up, we have some Andor season 2 news. Pretty big update because we got the Empire magazine that was released last what was it, last Thursday on the
Yep.
21st there, I believe it was. So we got some new images to take a look at. So yeah, Empire magazine hit stands on Thursday. A wave of new images from Andor season 2 made their way online, and yeah, we've seen Ben Mendelsohn dressed up as Orson Krennic again, and some footage from the second season dropped, featuring Bix and Luthen in that footage. But here's some of the images here,
Mm-hmm.
and they look really great. Like I'm excited for Andor. So
Very.
here's yeah, Andor and a couple people looking
I
at
can't make out who
something.
that person is back there, but
Yeah, but like Andor is looking closer to Rogue One Andor here, I
mm-hmm.
think.
Yeah.
Right? He kind of shaved the beard off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Very
Mon
intriguing.
Mothma and Luthen having a chat.
Stormtroopers in the back.
Yeah, with the
Security.
stormtroopers in the
Yeah.
back. Yeah, so you got Dedra
That
and
she's such a great, that character is such an awesome character.
yeah, yeah,
Orson Krennic, that's going to be a nice cool little rivalry between them two. I think some kind of power play, but of course,
yeah.
it's going to play out
Bix
pretty well.
and Cassie in there. Luthen. You got Mon Mothma's daughter, Tony Gilroy, and Genevieve O'Reilly, who plays Mon Mothma. There's Cyril Karn,
Yeah,
Serial Karn,
cereal.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
Dedra over there in what I'm assuming is the ISB or whatever.
Yeah,
And back to that. So yeah, some pretty cool images there. So yeah, showrunner Tony Gilroy said that he retained full creative control over the new season with his position solidified by the critical success of the first 12 episodes, which is awesome. So should be interesting to see what he does
Hmm.
with season 2, because everything we've seen so far, like the little bit, the few clips here and there, and the images, it looks incredible.
Yep. So you know what's kind of interesting, and I mean, maybe everybody knows about this, but I just found this out maybe a couple of days ago that Mon Mothma and her husband, they had an arranged marriage. It's not like someone that she had picked. That's why there's like
Oh,
this
okay.
tension between them, and
Yeah.
then they're doing the same thing with her daughter and the other senator or something like that. Yeah, they're kind of arranging this marriage for their daughter too. So it's pretty interesting how they are. This is like maybe something customary in Coruscant around that time. I have no earthly idea, but I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, but that's cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense, seeing like after seeing Andor season 1 and stuff,
Hmm.
like, because there was a lot of tension
Yep.
between them, right?
Keeping
So
things keeping things away from her husband, and yeah,
yeah.
a lot of
Sci-fi said looks like Andor season 2 is going to be a fast script with lots of reveals. Yeah, I think so. Because I
yes.
mean, you got to think you're jumping a year ahead every 3 episodes.
Yep.
So yeah, so it's gonna
But
go
it's pretty
quick.
cool.
You're gonna cover a lot of time, a lot of important events, right? So very cool.
Hmm. So I'm not sure if the next story is mine. Yeah, it is. It is. So on to some sad news. Well, I mean, it can always, like, we get these stories, and sometimes we get another story
Hmm.
that we track this one a week later. So
Yeah.
Boba Fett's on-screen future gets discouraging update from Tamora Morrison. So Boba Fett might not be coming back to Star Wars anytime soon after his Disney Plus series. During an appearance at Fan Expo Chicago, I think a couple of months ago, via Screen Rant, Morrison explains how his Star Wars future is currently up in the air. I understand they're going to do a Mando with Grogu movie next, and things can change too. They're going to be a Mando. There was going to be a Mando 4, and I was going to turn up in that, says Tamar. Says, but as of now, I'm still waiting for a phone call. To be quite honest, I think we're just put on the shelf for a little bit, so maybe come
Hmm.
off the shelf later. So, in terms of where Boba Fett can appear, we were talking about this, I think, last week or the week before.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Filoni's untitled Star Wars blockbuster will unite the heroes of the Manoverse against Grand Admiral Thrawn, where basically he's going to be needed the most right there. In that, so
Yeah.
they're going to be needing some manpower. So that'd be a good little tie-in if we can bring him back then. If they don't bring him back in the Grogu and Mando movie. So just some sad stories, some sad news at this time. But I mean, like we said,
Hmm.
we can always like find another story later that's kind of does this one
Yeah.
away. So we get some updates
Yeah.
from Warren Morrison himself.
Yeah. That junk man says,
Oh,
can't stay, been listening. Good stream. Sadly, got to run later, guys. Thanks
all right.
for
Thanks for
hopping in.
jumping in, man.
We appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, like he's saying that he doesn't know when stuff's going to happen. I mean, it's possible that's true, but it's also possible he's just saying that and he does know when he's going to show up next. Like, he could show up in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie as a
That's true.
cameo, maybe come and help them. Um, but like with the skeleton crew here, especially with recent trailers, I don't know if you caught it. We might have talked about it last week when we had our guest on, Mike from
Mhm.
A Guy Who
Right.
Loves Star Wars, where they actually changed one of the lines in one of the one of the newer trailers where it said you know a
Bounty
crew of
hunters,
murderous, yeah, now it says a crew of
pirates,
murderous bounty hunters, and it used to say pirates. So
pirates. Yeah.
could Boba Fett come, like, have a cameo in it? He's a bounty hunter. He's around this in this
Hmm.
era, right?
And maybe he got kind of scolded, or maybe was told something, because he has been talking like lately. Before, there's a lot of things that came out of his
Yeah,
mouth that shouldn't have came out. So maybe this is his way of saying, you know what, let's put this all to rest. No, they haven't called me. They haven't told me anything. I'm not. I'm not. they haven't contacted me, so maybe this is his way of saying stop asking me questions.
Yeah,
And he's
it could
kind of
be,
like lying
right?
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time an actor from
Mhm.
Star Wars has lied about being in it, right? So,
Yeah, most definitely.
right?
Yeah, if you want to stop getting those
How happy
questions,
would you? Yeah, how happy would you be if you saw Boba Fett and
come
Skeleton Crew
on,
somewhere?
man.
Right?
That'd be amazing. Yeah, of
Right?
course. Yeah, imagine
Boba
him
Fett
being,
and
even if he's
Bosk.
just like in a corner somewhere. I know that's funny. We were talking last week, and I asked Mike if he saw the trailer that it had Bosk on there, and I don't think anybody's seen it, but maybe it was just maybe one of those fan created
Yeah,
like
maybe,
trailer. But
maybe.
I mean, it looked pretty official to me. But I
Yeah,
saw Bosk in one of those trailers, so it could have been just somebody else's fan fiction clip, and they just added in parts of the Skeleton Crew on there. So, but
yeah, they could have, but I guess we'll have to wait and see because
yeah, definitely
now
love
the
to see
line is
it.
a crew of murderous bounty hunters is coming
Mm-hmm.
after us. So could Boba Fett come into play here? Could Bosk? Could
Forlom, come on.
IG? Yeah, IG-88, right? Could they come into
We
play
don't
here
we
at
don't
some
get
point?
enough Forlom. Yeah,
Right.
definitely. Yep.
So Morrison is probably playing his cards
Yep.
close to his chest. He's going to be back. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's one of those actors who is really excited to act in Star Wars, and you can
Mhm.
tell every time like he talks about it at cons or in interviews and stuff. You can tell he's genuinely excited
Mhm.
for Star Wars, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't bring him back, right?
Yeah,
So
no, like I said, he's probably just putting all that
yeah,
speculation to rest. Just give me some space. Stop asking me about it.
yeah, yeah.
Probably.
So next up, we have some could be some sad news for the Ahsoka series. So Star Wars is saying goodbye to Ahsoka with season 2 conclusion plans report.
Mm.
So is Lucasfilm already planning the conclusion of Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka on Disney Plus? I mean, with that title, it seems like maybe like just on Disney Plus, but that doesn't mean she couldn't show up in movies either. Same thing, right?
Mhm.
Like the
Mhm.
Mandalorian, right? Like the Mandalorian's future. I know you and I have talked about it, and like I've seen other people talk about it. Mike, who was on last week, he's talked about it on his channel that the Mandalorian and Grogu could be the first movie in its own like Mandalorian trilogy, right? With the Dave Filoni one being like the third episode in that trilogy, like capping
Mhm.
things off where they're all joining forces, right? So just because Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka is done on Disney Plus doesn't mean we don't see her ever again, right? So she could
Yeah.
show up, yeah, in the movies. But yeah, I guess the report is that according to Scooper Daniel Richmond, Lucasfilm is planning a fitting conclusion for Ahsoka season 2 in case it isn't reviewed for or renewed for a third season. So if Star Wars fans should expect answers and reunions in the season 2 finale instead of further cliffhangers and suspense. Um, Still, it's important to note that Star Wars hasn't canceled Ahsoka yet, as a
Mhm.
yet as a season 3 is possible. So, um, but what is un- but with this uncertainty says about the continued future of the Disney Plus Mandoverse and the studio's confidence in Ahsoka is unknown. So Ahsoka's second and potentially final season will have a lot to resolve, particularly given the exceptions from Thrawn creator Timothy Zahn and that Grand Admiral Thrawn will hit his stride in the next batch of episodes. Whether this means Thrawn's storyline will be resolved or teed up for the upcoming Mandoverse movies remains to be seen. It also raises the questions of how how interconnected the season will be. Will season 2 aim to keep its story streamlined and focused on Ahsoka and her supporting cast, or bring other spacefarers from across the galaxy like Bo-Katan, who
Mhm.
Katie Sackhoff is hopeful to see reunite with Rosario Dawson's Jedi? So yeah, a lot remains to be seen. But like I said, like just because they're not going to do it on Disney Plus doesn't mean she won't show up
Mm-hmm.
in the movies, right? So, what are your thoughts? Are you saddened by this news that we might not get her on Disney Plus after season 2? But I mean,
Well, it's all like kind of say like speculation because here it says season
yeah,
2 and then possibly season 3. They brought
mhm,
it with season 1. I mean, there's hardly anything to complain about in season 1.
yeah,
So if they do the same storytelling, I think that it would be continuation to season 3 if that's the case.
yeah,
So I'm not sure what I mean with Grand Admiral Thrawn, if he will be the big bad guy for the final. If they did it like we were talking about the trilogy, or they bring
yeah,
in like Abeloth or something like that. But
yeah,
there's so much to still put into this. I mean, they can't just. I mean, we got Rosario Dawson. She's a great actress, and she fits
yeah,
the. Oh, maybe we'll get a Captain America. Like we'll see like little like flash into the future where she's old on a rocking
yeah,
chair or something.
maybe,
So this is not. I don't want to think that maybe they'll kill her off on the season or maybe in the big in the trilogy movie or something like that. But
yeah,
I hope that Ahsoka season 2 is not the end of it. Hopefully we
yeah,
get a season 3. So
yeah, and if not, I'm certain that like I'm positive she'll be in the Mando movies,
Mando,
right?
yeah.
Whatever Mandoverse movies they make, right? They got
Mm-hmm.
to bring her in for it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Right
I don't think
into
it.
Mando
We're not
movie.
done with her forever. Maybe just on
Yeah.
Disney Plus, but not forever.
And of course, I think that would bring everybody to the theaters. So
Yeah,
that's what you want. At the end of the day, you want. I hate that saying at the end of the day, but I'm going to use it. At the end of the day, that's what you want. You want people to go to the theaters and go watch this in big screen and spend the money to go
yeah,
watch. So,
yeah, yeah. Because that's where Star Wars
mm-hmm.
was meant to be, right? Like that's where it
Yes.
was for so many years, right? And
Mm-hmm.
now we've been missing it for the last few years. So
Yep.
yeah, it's good. It's good to finally go back to the theaters.
Yep. So yeah, Mando Grogu movie. First one's
Yeah.
going to bring us back into theaters. All right. So
Hmm.
Star Wars fans are divided over Maul TV
Hmm.
series. So Darth Maul was done dirty in the prequel trilogy. However, he was redeemed when Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels TV show came along. So fleshing out his story and rivalry with Obi-Wan. Since then, some fans have wanted the villain back on the screens to further explore one of Star Wars' best villainous characters. With this in mind, a question was posted on Reddit. Would you watch a Maul TV show? So we got a few comments for fans. And Last Known King says, I would watch a 4-episode limited series. Another user said I would prefer a show that has Crimson Dawn as the antagonist
Mm.
and all that hints at the shadowy behind the scenes leader that will terrify them, which would of course be Maul, who will come out in later episodes. So there's a number of users who would love to see the show, but does not want Disney associated with it. He said various comments talks about not if it's made by Disney. Others seem more intrigued by the idea, saying only if it's a TVMA rating, giving it a more mature slant. So I'd love to see Maul come back for some more, but perhaps as a cameo in another show. So rather than getting him his own show. But my question is to you, Chris. What would you prefer if in all his options? Would you want his own TV show? Would you want a Crimson Dawn series? Would you like something like that? What are the other options here? Would it be a TVMA rating, or do you want Disney even associated with it? What do you think? Because I
Yeah.
mean,
So I mean, originally, like when after that cliffhanger at the end of Solo Star Wars story, I was like, yeah,
mhm,
Solo 2, like do a Solo
yeah,
2 Solo sequel, right? Make Solo 2 happen. But I don't think that's gonna happen. So I think the best thing would do like a Crimson Dawn, like
mhm,
continue off where you left off at the end of Solo with Darth Maul. He's in charge of Crimson Dawn, right? So see some of the the Crimson Dawn stuff and see him maybe training Kira on Dathomir and stuff like
mhm.
that. And yeah, because there's a
Now,
whole bunch of stuff he can do between Solo a Star Wars story, and where we pick up in Star Wars Rebels when Obi-Wan Kenobi kills him, right? So
So imagine if it's a live
there's
action,
quite a bit of stuff. That would be awesome, right?
live
You get
action,
Ray
like maybe,
Parkin, you get
yeah.
Ray Parkin to play the body, and you get Sam Witwer to do the voice again.
Mhm.
The Dream Team, right?
Yep. So yeah, imagine if it was a live action, maybe even if it's a, well, like it was said here, a 4-part episode, just something small, but so we can get some connectivity, because it's like we just
Yeah.
got left
And you
off.
know what? The limited series are usually like four. They're usually like 4 or 5 longer
Mhm.
episodes, right? They're
Yeah,
usually like an hour long
an hour long.
episodes,
Yeah.
right? So, which I'm cool with. Like, do a four episode limited series and give us like 4 1 hour
Mhm.
episodes about Darth Maul and the Crimson Dawn and stuff like that. That'd be awesome.
Now, if we were to get a Clone Wars season 7 style, continuation, that would be great too. But I mean, live
Mm,
action probably would be the best.
yeah, yeah. And if you do a Crimson Dawn or show, whatever, centered around Darth Maul, you could do flashbacks
Mhm.
where you have Darth Maul's time in the Clone Wars and him fighting Obi-Wan or something, and you bring
Yeah.
back Ewan McGregor and Hayden
Mhm.
Christensen for
Just imagine,
flashbacks and stuff like
even
that.
if you do like little snippets of those moments,
Yeah, yeah,
that would be amazing.
yeah.
Is it? I mean,
Sci-fi.
I think a lot of people would say, well, it's just going to just take away from the animation.
I don't think
And,
so, though. I don't think
and
so. Like, if you're not doing, like, if you're doing a live action Clone Wars, like, if and you're marketing it as a live action Clone Wars, maybe it does. But if you're doing something totally different, like you're telling stories that are totally different, like Crimson Dawn stuff, and then
Mhm.
just have some flashbacks to the Clone Wars, so you can
Yeah,
bring in Hayden and Ewan. I think that'd be phenomenal.
that would be.
Um, yeah, Sci-Fi said my dream would be that the Mando and Grogu film will be an Avengers assemble. Ahsoka,
Mhm.
Fett, all surviving Mandos will come together
Yep.
for a nice long scripted movie with surprises. I feel like this may happen. Yeah, that's what I think the Dave Filoni movie will be later on that he's working on
Mhm.
after Ahsoka season 2. So like like Eric and I have discussed on here, and we talked about it with Mike a little bit, I think last week. Um, I think the Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be like the first movie in its own Mando trilogy, and then the Dave Filoni will be like the Dave Filoni Thrawn movie will be at the end of that. So then there'll be like another movie in between there.
Mhm.
So yeah, but I agree. I think it'll be like an Avengers, like bring everyone together and fight Thrawn kind
Mhm.
of thing. Maybe get a cameo from Luke and Leia, like because you got to have Luke and Leia fighting Thrawn, right? You got to have Han in there,
So I'll
like
imagine this. If like the
do
first. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Sorry.
yeah. I was gonna say like do some de aging, do some deep fake, and bring in a
Mhm.
young Luke and a young Leia and stuff like that. So
So I was saying that, imagine if it's like The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, where the first movie is to set up, like they did
yeah,
on like the Avengers, the Endgame, and the other one, I forgot the other one. Well, so it'll be the first one will be the setup, and then the middle one they lose, and then the last one they win. They
yeah,
win the war.
yeah,
So that'd be like what we get from Star Wars, the kind of like
yeah,
the heroes don't always win. So
yeah.
pretty
And
pretty
that's
cool.
how it seems to go usually, right? Like
Yeah.
even in the other trilogies, the prequels, like Attack of the Clones, they
Hmm.
lost their battle, right, with Count Dooku. Count Dooku won his battle. He fled
Hmm.
and came back to wreak havoc in Episode 3.
Yeah.
Same in the sequels, right? Like the sequels, they had their asses handed to them in the Last Jedi, right, on Crate.
Yeah.
So um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it does make sense for them to do a third movie where they lose and then they all join forces in the third one, and
Hmm.
yeah, so
Yep.
it makes sense. Sci-Fi says, "Gotta go, fellas. See you on the
Nice. High five.
interwebs." Thanks, Sci-Fi.
Sure.
Appreciate you hopping in. So moving on to some Rise of Skywalker news. So this is, I guess they had some posters that were unreleased previously to now,
Hmm.
and and if you look at them, like the artwork on here is amazing. It's great. It's great artwork on these posters.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently they were considered for the 9th and final chapter of the Skywalker saga, but were ultimately unused. But now they've been uncovered. So
The Knights of Ren.
right,
That's
all
awesome.
the bad guys on this one with Kylo Ren. Kylo with his helmet looks really awesome.
Yeah.
See, I like that. I like the silhouettes of them
Yeah.
all. Right, you got like Kylo. You got. I like that. So you got Kylo with the red saber, and then he's kind of the blue light because he's kind of turning to the blue, turning to the light side a little bit, and then
Oh, yeah.
Rey's the opposite. Right, she's kind of starting to go a little bit dark there. Right, and then the Poe, and I'm assuming. No, that wouldn't be Phasma. Phasma died in
No,
the
that's
last
not
one. So just a
Phasma.
stormtrooper, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, like this is similar to the style that they ended up using, but just the character of Rey.
They're like
It still
top
looks cool.
cards. Yeah. They're
Oh
like
yeah,
top cards.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a Kylo one, which looks cool.
Cool.
That one of them on Peridia, not Peridia. What's the other planet's name?
Crate?
No, Pisana.
Okay.
And then that one with the with all of them on at the Resistance base there. So some really cool posters, right?
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite out of curiosity?
I like the very first one and the one with the with Kylo Ren. The very first one with
Oh, these two?
yeah, those two right there.
Yeah, so I think my favorite is Kylo in the shadows with the helmet, and then the one with the silhouettes there. I think those are really cool.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
Yeah, but yeah, some great artwork for sure.
You know, I think those the stormtroopers were like they could have done a little bit more with a little different, you know, battalions. Because I
Yeah,
think for the most part we got all just the white troopers.
yeah, and that's the
I
thing.
mean,
Like
we did
they
get
could
some
do stuff
sprinkled
like
in.
that in other. They could do stuff like that with other Star Wars content, like with with some of the other Star Wars shows
Yeah.
or stuff they put out, right? And put some filler in there, like fill in the gaps, right? And tie
Yeah.
everything together.
Yeah.
And
I like to
I
see
think
some
it'll help
continuation.
enhance the sequels, right? It'll help enhance the sequels like the Clone Wars did for the prequels.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like Clone Wars with different, different unique, armor and
yeah,
things like that.
yeah.
There's something there. They can do something. I mean,
I think so. I
yeah,
think so.
yeah, more first order troopers.
Yeah. I mean, with the Ray trilogy coming, I wonder if you could see some like maybe some remnant first
Yeah,
order
permanent. Yeah,
stormtroopers, right?
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Yeah, they could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was
Maybe
there
come
was
out.
there was some things that I did appreciate about
Yeah.
the first or the whole
Like
work of the
Kylo
first
Ren
order,
was great. Like
the sequel.
Kylo Ren was great. He was a great villain. Um, Ray wasn't a bad character.
She was poorly written. I
Like
think.
she was poor. Yeah, she was poorly written. Like they didn't have the plan set out in stone from the beginning, right? So
I think
like
she just learned the powers too fast for people to accept it.
yeah, I mean I accepted that just because like of who she ended up being.
Mm,
Like if she was Kenobi, it would have been weird for her to pick up right away. But like because she's the granddaughter of like the most powerful Sith Lord
yeah,
ever, right? Because I mean, you got to think Palpatine killed his master. He killed Plagueis, so like he's the most powerful Sith that we know, right? Arguably. So I
yeah,
mean, it kind of makes sense that Rey would have these powers, right?
yeah. I mean, what's you call it? Hindsight, yeah. And once we
Yeah.
got to the third movie, but it was like everybody was saying, well, she's a Mary Sue, and I was like, oh yeah, I mean that makes sense. Of how is she so powerful? I like
Yeah.
she gets all this stuff, and then there were of course speculations of her background and stuff like that. But when we got at the
Hmm.
end, I don't know, but for sure, I think her character was butchered. her story. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah, it
Not
wasn't as good as
intriguing.
it could have been.
I wanted to
It could
learn
have been
more
better.
about it, but at the end, it was
Maybe we'll get that in this the new Ray trilogy, right? With the new
yeah.
sequel trilogy,
If they
right?
do it, then please just take you guys time. One writer only.
Yeah,
So
and that's the thing. Like they're calling it a Ray trilogy. Like
mhm,
again, we mentioned it last week when Mike was
yeah,
on as well. Like they're calling it a Ray trilogy because that's the only character that they can connect to it right now.
yeah,
Plus, because it's going to have all these new characters, right? So that's how they're marketing it as like a Ray trilogy. But she's not going to be like the main character. She's going to be
yeah,
like mentoring the new people and
yeah,
slowly like becoming the mentor, right? And
yeah.
not like the main character. She's going to be one of the main characters, but she's not going to be the main character, I don't think, right? So
I think maybe if it goes right in my eyes, her character doesn't go past the first one. If it's going to be a trilogy, then that's it. Her and maybe her Force Ghost will just kind of just linger around a little bit.
I
But
mean, yeah, that I'm fine with that too. Like if she, especially like, because it would be like poetry, like every other trilogy, right? Where
mhm,
the mentor dies and becomes like a force
yeah,
ghost, right?
yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's what we're talking
yeah,
about, like getting past the Skywalker. And I know she's not officially a Skywalker. I get it, but let's just move on and get on to her student, maybe a
yeah,
powerful.
or who knows? Like
Yeah.
maybe it's Grogu, right? Because
Oh,
Grogu's alive.
yeah.
He's gonna be older. He's still gonna be alive. He's gonna live for another 800 years or so,
Mhm. Yeah,
right?
this is his
So
only
like
first
there's
50 years right
there's a
now.
lot of stories. Yeah, there's a lot of stories you could tell with Grogu.
Yeah,
So we'll see, right? We'll
yeah.
see.
It's all about being patient, and then man, like I said,
Exactly.
we get always these little glimpses of little stories and things like that that
Yeah.
keeps us going for a little
Yeah.
while.
Then we can continue to
Speculate.
speculate about this stuff, right? So
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah.
All right, so this is a story we talked about last week. So just
Yeah.
another little some more images on this. So Henry Cavill rumored for Star Wars. A new rumor claims that Henry Cavill might be joining a galaxy far, far away. Reports offer the Kinberg Star Wars trilogy will continue the Skywalker saga with episode 9, 10, 11. Yet at some time, the report offers that it will not be a continuation and will be something new. So Matt McLoin, the writer of this story, says that I think the Simon Kinberg story Star Wars trilogy will not center on Daisy Ridley as Rey, but will feature a male protagonist. Could it be Henry Cavill? It's known that Henry is a big Star Wars fan, so Zack Snyder and J.J. Abrams had fun releasing images back when Batman versus Superman came out of a Jedi Superman crossover of Henry Cavill in this on the above images. So if you go to that image right there, see a
Yeah, you can see
Superman.
the Superman. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see the outfit.
So that
Yeah.
one was the image that J.J. Abrams, I believe, was the one that either J.J. Abrams or Zack Snyder um, let this image release when they were doing a Batman versus Superman. And I've never seen it before, but I think that's pretty cool. How they
Yeah.
were
I've
like
never seen it
lining.
either. So see that's I'd be fine with that. Like how do you feel about that? Like I would be fine with that. Like if Ray's like
Mhm.
maybe Ray's training Henry Cavill's
Yeah,
character, right?
maybe found him on a planet, or I know
Right?
he's way too young. I mean, too older of a character to play the Broom Boy. But imagine if
Yeah.
that was the Broom Boy later in the future, because it is 15 years after
Yeah.
the Ray saga supposedly. Well, that's what we're
Yeah.
talking about. So maybe this is
Yeah.
that same Broom Boy that's she finally
Right. I mean,
bought.
Henry Cavill's a little old to be Broom Boy, I think.
Yeah, I know. I'm so
Yeah.
bad wanting to push the
But I
storyline
mean,
and maybe bring his age back some, but
yeah, because
I don't know.
you gotta think like during this time period, Ray's probably out looking for force sensitives, right, to join her academy. So like,
Mhm.
what if he's somebody at the academy, and then Ray becomes a mentor, and you
Mhm.
know this is a new character that
Yeah,
carries on the trilogy.
yeah, that'd be cool with me.
That would be I'd be good with that.
Yeah.
Or even if he's in the Dawn of the Jedi, like the James Mangold movie,
Mhm.
maybe he's one of the first Jedi.
Yeah.
So
Either
there's
way, dude, I mean, just bring
different
him into
things.
Star Wars. I mean,
I think it would be cool. I think that'd be a great move to get Henry Cavill
Yep.
in Star Wars, right?
We were talking last week, and he'd be like, he's got that poise about him. He would be like a general or something. And I was thinking maybe he left future First Order and became a Jedi, wanting to learn, or maybe he felt like his connection to the Force was strong. And Ray probably seeked them out or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you
There's
never
something
know.
to be done right there.
Yeah. Yeah. But oh, look at that. We got Nerd Squadron in the house. What's up,
Good
Chris?
evening.
What's up, Chris?
What's up?
Kay's in the chat. He got Palpatine. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. Look at that chin.
Yep.
I don't know though. Can you see him as like a young
No.
a young Palpatine?
No. He's got the chin though, the definition,
Yeah, he definitely has a
Imagine
chin.
the hood coming over, you just see his chin.
Right? There you go. Look, it's Palpatine.
There you go.
Right?
Yep.
I don't know what do you think, chat? Like, do you think he'd make a good young Palpatine with that like Kay said, he's got that chin. So I don't know. What do you think, Eric? You think a young Palpatine?
No, I think he's too big of a he's a bruiser. He's a big guy. I mean, Palpatine's smaller
Yeah.
guy. Like
yeah. I kind of
mid build.
I kind of like the because like when Rise of Skywalker, before it came out, there were rumors that Matt Smith was going to be playing like a younger clone Palpatine, right? And that never happened. But
yeah,
I could see Matt Smith as Palpatine, or even people have talked about.
But the thing is with him, he's got that long, he's tall guy.
Yeah, he's tall too, right? Tall and bulky, right?
Yeah.
People have talked about the Loki actor, what's his name, Tom Hiddleston, playing a young Palpatine, which I think I'd take that over Henry Cavill playing a young Palpatine.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I think Henry Cavill in Star Wars. Yeah, I could see him playing a Jedi.
So would prefer him Jedi or Sith?
I think I prefer him a Jedi. Like I said, like he could possibly be somebody Rey, like when she was looking for Force sensitives, maybe she found him and he's in her academy now, right? And if Rey is the mentor type character, like maybe she dies in the first episode at the end of the first movie in the trilogy, and then becomes a mentor to Henry Cavill's character, right? And then Henry Cavill is the character we follow throughout the next, whatever.
That'd be cool.
3 to 5 movies or whatever, if they want to make episodes. Yeah, right. So we'll see. We gotta wait to find out, right? Because they did take away that 2026 December 2026 slot, right? So there's no movie coming out then. But which is good. Like, take the time to develop it, right? You got Simon Kinberg on board. Take the time to develop it. Yeah. What do you think about that? Like, I know we talked about it a little bit. We kind of touched on it last week. Like, do you think it's like I think Charmin Obaid-Chinoy is going to be like that movie they just turned it into the first movie of the trilogy. The Simon Kinberg.
I was speculating. I was thinking about it as like, at first I was like, no, I don't think that's going to be the case. But I mean, she's the director, so there's no story, she's going to be writing. She's pretty much directing.
Yeah. So Simon Kinberg writes the story, right? She comes in and directs it. So like she hasn't directed Star Wars. She doesn't know Star Wars, but Simon Kinberg knows Star Wars. So he's writing it, and she just comes in and kind of puts her little personal flair, right? Her little maybe whatever, right? Like she's done. She did some episodes of Miss Marvel, right? So like she's not like a bad director. She just doesn't know Star Wars. But Simon
I haven't
Kinberg
watched Miss Marvel. Sorry, so
yeah,
I'm not sure that.
Yeah, but we'll see, right? Should be interesting to see.
Yeah, that's like at first I was like, I don't think that's going to be Then like directing that movie, because I thought they were just gonna just completely cut it out.
Yeah.
But like you said, if they continue, if they do it, make it that first one, that's fine. She's just directing, and Simon can write the story.
Yeah, right. And then you get
All
Bryce
three
Dallas
movies.
Howard. You
Yeah.
get Bryce Dallas Howard in
Yes,
there somewhere
yes,
and direct
please.
like maybe the second one or the third one, right?
Please let her do another series, one story in
Yeah.
the series, and then let her give her a movie.
Give her a movie now. I think she deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that I think that does it for this week's episode of Rebel Rewind. Eric, excited to watch Skeleton Crew next week on Monday.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little tired from the road.
Yeah,
but
I was gonna say, are you gonna watch it on the Monday when you get home from your trip, or are you gonna watch it Tuesday morning or whatever?
No, more than likely I'll watch it that Monday. Yep.
Yeah.
Put it in the bedroom, just relax.
Kay said yes. Give me more BDH. Yeah. Right.
It's like her dad, man.
Right. I know. I'd be okay if Ron Howard came back and directed a movie as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but that does it for this episode.
Yep.
Well,
so the following week, that'll be fun doing a live watch.
Yeah. So, like we mentioned at the beginning of the stream, we'll start our watch parties the following week with the third episode of Skeleton Crew. When it goes back to Tuesdays, so that'll be fun. That'll be fun. We'll come on here and chat for a little bit, and then do the watch party. That'll be kind of cool. Yeah.
Yep.
But that does it for this episode. Thanks everyone in the chat for hopping in and spending your evening with us, and we'll see everyone in the next episode.